Welcome to Arlington Public News. I'm Carla Dorado.
And I'm James Milan. Thanks for joining us. In this edition of APN, Arlington's top cop has been named to a statewide commission to better understand substance abuse. We'll tell you what Chief Fred Ryan plans to do to curtail what many call a monumental crisis.
And the area's first medical marijuana dispensary is coming to town. Brenda Mahoney reports on how the facility will work and what Arlingtonians can expect.
And the state completes its river herring fish count with the help of an Arlington-based group aiming to clean up our waterways. Why is the tally so important to us? We talk to an expert for answers.
That and more next. Stay with us.
Arlington's first ever medical marijuana dispensary is opening up for business. Apothca is located inside a medical office building on Water Street and received its license to sell from the state just this week. Apothca hopes to welcome patients as early as Friday, October 26th. It's a new type of business for Arlington that's been 2 years in the making. APN's Brenda Mahoney now with a look at just how medical marijuana is being sold in Arlington.
So let's see, we have guava D there. This is banana split.
Going over the inventory choices a bit like a kid in a candy store. Except 31-year-old Joseph Lacatch isn't buying, he's selling medical marijuana, the purveyor of Arlington's first ever dispensary.
There were times that we didn't think we would make it here. It's not as easy as just go get a license. It's been a long time. It's just a euphoric moment for, I think, all of us.
Lacatch began his quest to open a registered marijuana dispensary 3 years ago, deciding this Water Street medical building in the center was a good spot after Arlington zoned the area for medical marijuana sales.
I'm a big fan of Arlington. I went to college out here. I'm from Miami, went to college out at Babson, and I never made it out this way. But now I'm 31 years old, married. I have a 7-month-old at home. It's not some weird back alley drug dealer. You know, I've never even done anything like this before. Oh, he is hearing. Look, fantastic. Yes. So now he's hearing it from the computer.
Testing out his doorbell security system, Lacatch and his team are in the final stages of getting everything ready to start selling. Set to open Friday, October 26. State regulations require patients to have an ID and be in a database, which Apothca then checks. Arlington's Board of Health and Police Department also requiring further regulations, such as the right to check up on the facility.
And our team from the police department did a walkthrough the other day, and we're very confident that the security measures in place will maximize the safety to the community. It's obviously new, and we're all learning, and we see it as our responsibility based on the passage of the law to ensure that this organization can conduct business lawfully and safely.
After a patient's ID is checked, they're then led to the retail floor here where they can choose from a variety of marijuana flowers, looking at it even underneath a magnifying glass and smelling it.
You know, you have pipes, so you could grind up the flower. These are all, this shelf right here is for vaporizing. You know, this isn't what you would think of a marijuana dispensary. This is a nice open space where we give any patient that walks through that door the respect that they deserve and the service that they deserve to be able to get medical cannabis to help whatever ails them. We also sell pre-rolled joints.
The cannabis has to be medically recommended by a doctor, but it's still not federally legal, therefore not covered by insurance and cash and carry only. Much like alcohol, the products come with health warnings and can't be consumed on-site or anywhere in public.
It's a very long label.
In the time since Lacatch started seeking a permit from the Board of Health, the state has approved adult recreational use and sales of marijuana. Lacatch is now on a fast track with the state to get into that business. In Arlington, a marijuana study committee has been looking at how to regulate it locally.
To stay competitive and be able to continue to service the patients and be able to offer the medicine, you need to evolve your business. But the important thing is, our philosophy doesn't change. We're here to serve our patients, our customers, and provide a safe environment for them and for our communities.
The Redevelopment Board is taking up the Marijuana Study Committee recommendations with final bylaw changes to be voted upon at a special town meeting set for December 5th. Brenda Mahoney, Arlington Public News.
You just saw Chief Ryan discussing the marijuana facility in Arlington. Ryan's been named to the Massachusetts Harm Reduction Commission, which was formed 2 months ago. The commission aims to make its own recommendations to address substance abuse disorders. Chief Ryan says for too long, many substance abusers were arrested, convicted, and locked up for a disease that was no different than diabetes or hypertension. As a result, in the past, Ryan says law enforcement manufactured self-imposed barriers to success.
We've got to get smarter about policing our communities. You know, being tough on crime is easy. You know, criminalize everything, arrest everybody and warehouse them in jails. That's easy work. But the outcome has adverse consequences on communities and the quality of life in communities that take that, tough on crime approach. In Arlington, we try to be smart on crime. And being smart on crime is hard work, it's data driven, it's driven by science rather than by emotion. And so I hope to bring these conversations to that commission.
Chief Ryan told us he's confident the group will build on his approach to law enforcement. He was sworn in at the State House October 24th. Arlington High School students and Rotary Club volunteers are busy honoring our heroes this time of year.
They're thanking those Americans who have made a huge difference in their lives. For the next few weeks, the front of Arlington High School will be adorned with a sea of red, white, and blue, part of the Flags for Heroes campaign, a fundraising activity sponsored by the Rotary Club of Arlington. So far, there are more than 160 U.S. flags on the lawn, and that number is expected to rise. Residents purchase a flag in memory of loved ones who are serving or have served in the U.S. military, police and fire departments, first responders, parents, teachers, mentors, anyone who has made a positive impact on the community and the lives of all Americans.
The flags will be up from now until the 13th of November, right after Veterans Day. Majority of these flags will have military on them, but one of the flags that I put up has my wife's name on it. She's my hero.
A public dedication ceremony will be held November 4th at 1 p.m. at Arlington High, celebrating patriotism and our local heroes, past and present. Money raised goes towards scholarships for students at Arlington, Arlington Catholic, and Minuteman High Schools.
Here's a story about a major hero. Earlier this year, the U.S. Navy announced its newest guided missile destroyer, the USS Thomas Hudner, will be commissioned on December 1st in Boston. Hudner, a Massachusetts native, was a naval aviator, and he received the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions in 1950 during the Battle of Chosin Reservoir in the Korean War. He purposely crash-landed his plane in an unsuccessful effort to save the life of his wingman, Ensign Jesse Brown, the Navy's first African-American combat pilot. Hudner would not live to see the commissioning ceremony. He died late last year at the age of 93. But ACMi was honored to have interviewed him in his Concord home in 2012. Hudner told us then, if crash landing a plane to save a life was frowned upon in the military handbook, it wouldn't have mattered.
Had I remembered it, I'd have done what I did anyhow. Because there was Jesse sitting in the cockpit, smoke coming out from the plane indicating it was on fire, and all he needed was a good tug from somebody to get him out of the airplane and away from it in case it burst into flame. So that's all I thought, was getting Jesse out of the cockpit.
Family members and friends can all agree Thomas Hudner Jr. was larger than life. After commissioning in Boston, the vessel bearing his name will make her way to home port in Mayport, Florida.
The all-important spawning population of the river herring has just recently been tallied, and according to the state of Massachusetts, it was another robust season in the Arlington area. River herring are a crucial part of the food chain. Scientists say sizable populations are a credible indicator of a healthy ecosystem. But, as Jeff Barnt reports, not all spawning areas have recorded positive numbers in the Bay State. And according to an Arlington-based group that monitors our waterways, the river herring remains a threatened species.
You're looking at just a few of the nearly 600,000 river herring or alewives that migrated upstream to spawn at Mystic Lakes during this year's migrating season, that according to the state. Dr. Patrick Herron, Executive Director of the Arlington-based Mystic River Watershed Association, is confident this is among the largest river herring runs in the Bay State for 2018.
Well, this year the river herring had about 550,000 river herring migrate up from the Atlantic Ocean up into Upper Mystic Lake. They went further. We had about 25,000 river herring get up into Horn Pond this year for the first time.
Herons Association conducts on-site and video monitoring programs to help the state make an accurate count of the summer migration. Heron says despite the aim for accuracy, he truly believes the alewife spawning population could be even higher, and that comes as good news to the fowl that feast on them and to those of us at the top of the food chain.
River herring are a forage species, so they're a species that are snacked on, if you will, by a variety of commercial and important fish that we eat regularly, whether it's stripers or bluefish or cod. This is the base of the food chain.
The astounding number of herring migrating through these waters continues to be robust as they make their way to points north through here, the Upper Mystic Lake Dam. Now, during the migrating season, the herring have two choices when they travel from the Atlantic Ocean to these parts, either the Charles River or the Mystic River.
They must smell something good up here. They swim up through the Amelia Earhart Dam and then swim about 7 miles up the Mystic River to arrive here at this dam.
Alewife populations have seen significant declines in the past century, in part because the construction of thousands of dams along the eastern seaboard have decreased access to major spawning areas. 6 years ago, the Upper Mystic Lake Dam was modified to allow river herring to migrate further north. But Heron says dams like this are currently in short supply.
And all of the dams, the thousands of dams that we have in Massachusetts, have cut off the habitat for this species. And as efforts are underway to remove dams in different parts of the state, we're really hoping that that additional habitat that gets put back into play for these river herring mean a larger population going forward.
Heron says if we care about the future of the Atlantic fisheries industry and the healthy benefits we ourselves glean from it, it begins in large part from this relatively small fish, as it takes part in nature's grand and ancient yearly cycle. I'm Jeff Barnes, Arlington Public News.
Heron tells Jeff that nearly 100 volunteers helped with the 2018 river herring count as they passed through the Mystic Lakes Dam. Heron also oversees the Herring Education Project, which is a campaign to connect students and others to the remarkable alewife migration. The association has worked with hundreds of students this year, bringing the fragile ecosystem of the Mystic River to area classrooms. A newly named restaurant will soon occupy space in the 400 block of Mass Ave. This after the Select Board unanimously approved its license 2 weeks ago.
And hopefully the new name, Rangla Punjab, won't confuse you. Rangla Punjab's owners currently run the Singh Sab restaurant at the 444 Mass Ave address. They initially went before the Select Board last month over concerns about the proposed name change, which at the time was Mini Punjab. See, that proposed restaurant site is across the street from an eatery called Punjab, under different owners. Punjab's owners argued the Mini Punjab name was too similar to theirs, and if the new restaurant is in the immediate vicinity, that would cause for confusion for their patrons. Punjab is a state in northern India and describes the type of Indian cuisine being served. Now that it's been given the nod from town leaders, Rangla Punjab is set to open December or January.
Coming up on APN, some senior Spy Ponders are honored before the girls' soccer team takes to the field. We'll have a complete wrap of all the sports next.
And a familiar face returns to Robbins Farm after being away for too long. Where has man's and woman's best friend been all these years? We'll tell you on the other side of the break.
And it pays to be in the right place at the right time. A light show during an Arlington downpour. Nature's double feature when we come back.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Robbins Farm Park has been a popular and historic Arlington landmark for more than 200 years. And now, after a 2-year-long renovation project, it's open once again.
There's a unique visitor who mysteriously ran astray from the grounds once. But this wanderer has realized there's no place like home. Here's APN's Stephanie Wittenbach.
Arlington's History Project at Robbins Farm held an official unveiling ceremony on October 20th, revealing a replica of the beloved dog statue that Nathan Robbins had on his precious land long ago. The dog was a famous rendezvous point and plaything for the local kids as they frolicked on these grounds. Pictures show how they would climb and even decorate the dog on certain occasions like 4th of July. It's a time Tony Vogel of the Friends of Robbins Farm Park is hoping to recapture, bringing man's best friend back for modern-day kids to enjoy.
It really symbolizes the love that Mr. Robbins had for the children of Arlington and why he was inspired to make this his gift to our town.
The original dog statue was lost to history when the Robbins home was demolished in 1942 after Nathan turned the land over to the town, saving it from development. After a nationwide search for a similar dog statue by Friends of the Robbins Farm members, a similar statue was located in Houston, Texas. The new dog statue is just part of the more than $600,000 town renovation project of this park. Community Preservation Act funds allowed for a newly designed basketball court, baseball field, and a level handicap accessible path leading right up to the dog here.
Looking back on it now, I just feel so lucky growing up. I grew up right at the edge of the park and have the view out here. And I wouldn't say we took it for granted, but I didn't know how special it was and how great that was.
The History Project and Field Day allowed children, parents, and others to find out more about Robbins Farm. Just one of the many activities Tony Vogel and other friends plan to have at the farm. Now with Nathan Robbins' dog looking on. For Arlington Public News, I'm Stephanie Wittenbach.
Arlingtonians were treated to a beautiful celebration of music earlier this month when world-renowned folk band Windborne brought its distinct sound to the First Parish Unitarian Universalist Church. Windborne remains deeply rooted in American folk music, and many of their songs reflect working-class movements throughout the centuries, movements the band says still exist today. Listen to this.
Stand up now, diggers all, against the hate and fear. Stand up now, stand up now, against the hate and fear. Stand up now. The press have closed their eyes, they spread the tyrants' lies. They'll tell you with their cries who to love and to despise. Stand up now, diggers all.
You just heard the Digger's Song, a 17th century ballad regarding land rights, what some people would call a protest song from the 1600s.
We're sure you'll be hearing more from Windborne, a very talented quartet. ACMi was proud to provide video and sound equipment for this beautiful concert.
This is what happens when you sit back and let nature pick up a paintbrush. This rainbow spanned the skies over Arlington on October 23rd, just before 5 p.m. This video was taken in East Arlington, and as you can see, it's a double rainbow. A double rainbow forms when refracted light does not escape the raindrops after being reflected the first time. The ancients believed a double rainbow brought good luck, and they may have been onto something. State lottery officials say a pair of $1 million Mega Millions tickets were sold in nearby Winchester. So, Arlington got the pretty view, while Winchester apparently got the pot of gold.
ACMi is gearing up for All Hallows Eve. If you're a trick-or-treater, we have some treats and tricks of our own.
Here's a hint in the trick department. If you're into classic cinematic gore and freakish Vincent Price laughter, ACMi has some coming attractions to make your blood run cold.
And the Spy Ponders are closing out the regular season and preparing for all-important Thanksgiving Day matchup. That and more right after the break.
Did you know bicyclists are often injured by vehicle doors opening into their path? To prevent hitting a cyclist with a car door, drivers should use their right hand to open the door, which forces them to look back over their shoulders so they can see people approaching on bicycles. Passengers should do the same using their left hands in case someone is riding a bicycle to the right of the vehicle. This simple safety procedure is an important step in keeping our roads safe. Remember, scan the street for wheels and feet.
You've always protected me. Every day of my life.
There you go.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm older now, but I still need you. Prescription pain pills, heroin, I know kids are getting addicted, and people are dying. Can you still protect me?
You can protect your teen. Teens who talk to their parents about opioids are less likely to misuse them. Find out what you can say.
Arlington High honors its senior girls soccer players, and the victorious Spy Ponder football team gears up for the big Thanksgiving Day game.
Here's Alex Van Thong with your sports update.
Hello Arlington sports lovers, and welcome to another edition of your ACMi Sports Update. The girls soccer team celebrated their seniors last week before they played their match against Lexington.
A midfielder, Jesselyn Kelly. Gabriella Bruno. A striker, Reina Conti. A midfielder, Captain Julia Hazen. A midfielder and defender, the two-year captain, Megan Kerr.
The girls left the evening with a tie against Lexington and came away with a 2-0 win against Reading Memorial over the weekend. They'll be playing in Belmont on Thursday, October 25th. The boys soccer team also fought hard on the pitch while away in Lexington, but the Minutemen came away with a 3-2 win. Over the weekend, they came away with a 1-1 tie against Reading Memorial. They'll also be playing Belmont at home on Thursday, October 25th. Home football games have finished up here in Arlington, until the traditional Thanksgiving game against Arlington Catholic. But our Spy Ponders are still playing away. They managed to take a win against Belmont last Friday.
However, Arlington was able to get the ball back off the onside kick, and here we go. 3rd and goal from the 4. Bowler will keep it. He's looking, he throws, it is caught for a touchdown. Leo Minetti, senior receiver, catches the ball with 21 seconds remaining.
Spy Ponder football will be playing Malden Catholic on Friday, October 26th. That's all we have for sports this week, but be sure to keep tuning into ACMi for your favorite coverage of Arlington sports.
If Halloween is one of your favorite holidays, then you've come to the right station. Besides our affinity for sugar high, we'll be serving up a classic lineup of horror flicks, from the spine-tingling to the downright gory. The silver screen will soon turn red with cinematic masterpieces like the original House on the Haunted Hill. This 1959 classic, directed by William Castle, stars the immortal Vincent Price, who invites his guests to a party. But this isn't any baby shower or housewarming. We've all been there, you know, the kind of party that never ends. All this ghoulish fun begins on October 30th and runs right through Halloween on the public channel, with a movie marathon of the horror flick Night of the Living Dead starting at 10 p.m. on Halloween and running all night long, of course. And from 8 to 10 p.m. on October 31st, we will air a block of ACMi-produced horror shorts and Halloween specials. When it comes to the bewitching stuff, ACMi has your insatiable appetite for blood and gore covered. You can go to acmi.tv/schedule for showtimes.
Once again, ACMi is proud to take part in a holiday tradition. From 3 to 5 p.m. on Halloween, children ages 10 and under are invited to show off their costumes and trick-or-treat at participating town businesses, including our studios right here at 85 Park Ave. We'll be giving away much more than just candy, so stop by and your little ghost or goblin will be on TV. That's right, we'll have the green screen set up right here, and we'll be taking videos of your trick-or-treater right here in-house as you take your own pics. And it's all absolutely free. It's ACMi's way of saying have a happy and safe Halloween.
You can check out our latest segments and the newscast on web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Arlington Public.
And if you have any news tips for us here at Arlington Public News, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by the studio at 85 Park Ave. I'm James Milan.
And I'm Carla Dorado. We leave you tonight from 16 Cleveland Street in Arlington. It seems the home where the McDermott and LaFontaine families live is being overtaken by unsavory Halloween ghouls and goblins.
Creatures like bulgy-eyed skeletons playing volleyball and tennis, wart-laden witches lined up like planes at the airport, snarling dogs and cats foaming at the mouth, looking nothing like Lassie or Garfield.
Not to mention the emaciated pirate or the gargantuan fire-breathing dragons. This house is one of many along Cleveland Street decked out for Halloween. Kudos to the residents who dare tolerate their unwelcomed inhabitants for the next few days. The upside to all of this? We bet the candy in these parts will be outstanding. Have a good night.